While the governor and Senate president have indicated that a big tax bill is off the table this year, the state's planned jump in education spending means it will have to get a closer look next year. Sue Copen with this update on the blueprint.
When it comes to the blueprint, interim Maryland Superintendent Carrie Wright says,
what my issue is we just need to make sure that we're implementing it with fidelity. I think that that's what's a really critical aspect.
In her presentation to the House Ways and Means Committee, Wright told lawmakers it's important that all students have access to opportunities and the resources they need.
What we want them to be able to think of is, what are the skill sets I'm going to need to be successful regardless of what I choose to do? What are the skills that I need? And that's what we need to be thinking about so that we can ensure that anybody that walks our stage has that set of skills.
Representatives of the Maryland Association of Boards of Education said among their concerns they'd like to see addressed: funding for the blueprint.
The blueprint cannot be implemented without an adequate combination of both state and local funding. These proposals, if enacted, would require local governments to provide more than the minimum amount of year-to-year local funding. Many local governments are funding above maintenance of effort, but most are not. And the statewide success of the blueprint depends on the increased local funding.
MABE's other priorities include an inflation adjustment to the blueprint's minimum maintenance of effort amount for local funding, reestablishing a maintenance of effort escalator to require increased local funding for certain jurisdictions, add population density-based adjustments for state funding for the lowest populated counties, and require state and local governments to share the cost of salaries for local blueprint implementation coordinators, a shared cost of more than $3.5 million. One of the top priorities for Maryland's Public Schools Superintendents Association: additional support to get more teachers in classrooms.
The pool for teachers has dwindled quite a bit, even in areas where it was not typical. Those areas specifically, when you think about counseling, physical education, social studies, every area, especially our related service providers, is an area of need. And so we're having those conversations with our university partners about how do we grow our own.
The Superintendents Association said it would also like to see state funding for student teachers, expanded loan assistance, cohort incentives, that's differentiated pay for special educators and teachers in low-performing schools, and a post-COVID updated cost analysis of the blueprint. Interim Superintendent Carrie Wright says she's found the legislature to be supportive of the work of the department.
We're in a very collaborative state, and I think the more we can do together, the better.
I'm Sue Copen for State Circle.